We talked about how fighters and how they are the one of the four main archetypes of a successful adventure party. I want to look at Harnmaster. Harnmaster is from Columbia Games and it is for the Harn setting. The original Harn setting came out in the 80s and I was an early adopter. Harn is always considered low fantasy and gritty, and it certainly can be. But it's as high fantasy as your GM wants to make it. My friend Devin and I discuss it on the Twilight Scrubs podcast, so I'm not going into the setting, but feel free to check out that podcast. Now, to Harnmaster. It's crunchy. No, crunchier than that. Harnmaster is a skill-based system, so there are no character classes. Also, there are no hit points. The combat system generates actual injuries, and it can be very lethal, and there are no saving throws. Characters are quite detailed. There is a point-based build system, just in case you needed more crunch. I usually build with a 4d6 and drop the low die. The skills are an average of 3 attributes divided by 3 plus a sun sign modifier. So let's build our character from the top. The dice you will need are 3d10, 4d6, and a d12. Now, let's look at the character sheet. The first part of the sheet is personal information, race, and sex. Sex may have a bearing on later stats. Race will generally be human, but talk to your GM if you want to play another race. Birth date. Harn has its own calendar, and the year campaigns begin is 720 TR, which stands for Terzan Reckoning. All of the Harn setting material ends at 720, allowing you to create your own P-Harn, your personal Harn from that date. It also generates your sun sign, a Harnic astrological modifier for your skills, birthplace, culture, and social class. All can be generated randomly or could be provided by your GM. In the setting material, social class makes a lot of difference. Sibling rank, parent estrangement, parent and clan head. These are, for the most part, for the GM, although parent can provide what family skills you have. Appearance. You generate your character's height, frame, and weight here. Your character's sex may modify your character's attributes as your GM directs. Other characteristics, hair color, eye color, modified by culture are here also. Is your first actual attribute, comeliness, everyone's favorite dump stat. Next, we have primary abilities. These are the ones that generate the bulk of your skills. Physical skills, strength, stamina, dexterity, agility, eyesight, hearing, smell, and voice. These are all pretty familiar. I generally suggest 4d6 and drop the low die. Also, I use these to generate the stats and arrange them for the character I plan to build. Personality. Aura, willpower, intelligence are used to generate some of the skills. The last is morality, which should be discussed with your GM. The higher this stat between 3 and 18 determines how evil at 3 and how moral at 18 your character is. It may limit which deity you can worship, and lastly, piety points. We will discuss deities and piety when we discuss clerics. Skills. As we mentioned before, there are no character classes. What makes one character different from another are the skills. There are automatic skills, throwing, climbing, and communication skills For example, there are family skills that you learn in your youth from your parents. And finally, occupational skills, okay? Ones that you gain from your profession. So now we get crunchy. Looking at the sheet again, it should already have listed all of the automatic skills. You will see the name of the skill, climbing, for example. And beside it are two columns. One is labeled SB, skill base, and the other is ML, mastery level. Your skill base is the average of 3 specific attributes. Add the attributes divided by 3, rounding any fraction up, and your sun sign modifier. Remember me from step 2? So you take the stats, add them up, divide by 3, rounding any fraction upwards, then add the bonus from the sun sign modifier to this average, and that is your skill base. In the skill list, where you've got the stats to create your average from, and the sun sign modifier, your ML will be expressed as a multiple of your SB. And you create an SB and ML for each skill. We do have some optional skill points which will allow you to open skills that weren't opened anyplace else. Talk to your GM to explain how your character has whatever skill you have negotiated. We aren't quite done. We will discuss armor and weapons when we discuss expert treasure hunters. Thanks for watching part 1 of the Harnmaster series.